Hello, I'm Rixie. I recently had the chance to sit down and speak with Stephanie Southerland. Stephanie's a dancer, a singer, an actress, and a voice actor. You know her as the voice of Jean Gunnhildr from Genshin Impact, the voice of Madame Blueberry and Cauliflower from Veggie Tales, as well as many other video game and animated film titles. And she's just a super fun person to hang out with. And that's coming up on Collector's Maze. Hello, Stephanie. Man, I'm excited to be sitting and talking with you today.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I appreciate you taking the time to sit down. Yeah, I'm excited to hear all the stories and just glean all the knowledge that I can. So
Oh my
this is
gosh,
going to be
well,
fun.
thank you. I'm excited. Yeah, very excited to get into all of this.
So before we get going, I mean, how's your day been? I mean,
It's been good. It's been good. It's been busy and just kind of taking things one day at a time with potential strikes and with the interactive contract and all of that, but did a bunch of auditions. I didn't have any sessions today, so it was just easy peasy. We love days like that.
so nice. Chill is good every now and then, right?
Chill is
Chill
good
is
every
good
now and then, uh-huh.
every
And
now
then
and
if I
then.
exactly, if I have too many days where I'm like, I don't have a session, I'm like, am I ever gonna work again? It's just I think it's just the nature of being contract to contract,
Oh
essentially.
wow, wow. See, and my background, I do IT for a company that owns restaurants. So I go into an
Oh,
office
uh-huh.
every day. I, I
I
I
love it.
delve into the creative world more, and
Yeah, yeah.
more and more. I'm doing some local acting and things like that.
Oh, that's
So
great.
I love this opportunity. So
Oh my
glad
gosh.
glad to hear you're having a great day. Great day. So
Yes,
you're
thank
West
you.
Coast, right? You're out on the West
Yes,
Coast.
I'm in
West
Los
Coast.
Angeles. Uh-huh.
Very nice, very
Yep,
nice. And
sunny
uh,
LA.
fall time in Los Angeles. I mean, I've been out to San Diego a couple of times, but I mean, what's fall like
San
in
Diego
Los
has my heart.
Angeles?
Well, right now it's feels like summer. It's been
Still
in the
so.
90s. I like to call I like to call what we go through in end of September, beginning of October, the fall fake out. Because we get like a week where it's nice and it feels like fall is here,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it gets really hot again. So we went through the fall fake out last week, and now it's hot and that's just the way it is.
It's
And
like
every year I'm like, oh yeah, remember this is the fall fake out, Stephanie. Don't get too cozy. Don't get your sweaters out quite yet.
not yet, not yet, not time yet. So,
Yep.
so are you native to California or?
I'm not.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. My mom is from San Diego. So when you said San Diego,
okay.
I was like, yeah,
Oh,
I got San Diego in my blood.
in your blood. What
My
part? What
blood.
part? Where? I mean,
Let's see here. Like as far east in San Diego City as you can get without getting into La Mesa. So,
okay. I know La
uh,
Mesa very well, very
oh,
well.
do you? Oh,
Oh
okay. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
all over there. So the company I
Oh my
work for
gosh.
owns all the Pizza Huts out there. So I go around to all the different Pizza Huts
Oh.
doing this and that and whatever
Oh,
IT
that's
work.
cool.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So I
Oh,
get to
that's
see a
great.
lot of the city, and I really there's a lot of
Oh,
culture there. I
oh,
love
it's
the
so
the
great.
different the micro cultures is what I call it. Like you
Pockets.
get a little bit
Yeah.
here, a little bit there, and
Yes.
I absolutely love that.
Oh my
Love that.
gosh. I always say like if I didn't have to be here for work and my husband's in the film industry too, and if we both didn't have to be here for work, we'd be down in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
And
Good to
we
know.
just love it. Love, love, love it. And so it's always a treat to get to go down there and visit family. My grandfather, he passed away last year, but we'd go visit him
Oh,
quite
I'm so
often.
sorry to hear
And
that.
oh, thank you. But yeah, oh, San Diego is wonderful. It has my heart.
So
But
go
oh,
ahead, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, I grew up in Utah. Very different from San Diego.
Okay, okay, okay. So I guess we already started down this path. What
Yeah.
so I'm really curious about your creative journey. I mean, what were the
Yeah.
highlights in your life that led you to where you are? I mean, I remember, what stoked me for, to be, a creator, a builder, a maker. My dad
Yeah.
gave me an old wind up clock and he's like, take it apart. And
Oh.
I took that apart and
Oh,
that
and
was just
encouraged you. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah. So that, I mean, so that's really, I love hearing those stories, and I find
Yeah.
inspiration and motivation. So I'm curious, what that looked like for you.
Oh, for sure. Gosh. Well, my mom got me in dance lessons pretty early. So I have a sister we're 13 months apart and
Oh, nice.
couldn't be more different. But my sister was, I think oh yeah, she would have been almost 3 because I was 18 months. I know this part of the story well because my mom always reminds me. But my mom had enrolled, or my parents, I should say, had enrolled my sister in dance lessons, and as they were waiting, my mom had little squirmy Stephanie in her arms, and I just wanted to be up on the dance floor with my sister and doing all of that. So they decided to enroll me in dance at 18 months. And I
Nice.
just grew up dancing competitively,
Oh, okay.
going to conventions and competitions. And um, so that's kind of where I got my footing and my love for performing. And I just remember growing up and thinking, I am going to be a dance teacher. Like, this is what I want to do.
Nice.
And then
Nice.
for a while, there was like a stint where I was like, I'm going to go be a chamois rider at SeaWorld because the whole San Diego thing.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But naturally,
It's a great
but it's
place. I
still
mean,
performing.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was
I
like,
mean,
dance was my path. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And then, gosh, I feel like it was about, I think it was probably in like my freshman year of high school when I started seeing, oh, there's like a thing called musical theater. And like I'd
Mm.
known about musicals, and my mom always loved putting on the old musicals when she and my
Okay.
dad would get home from work.
Did you have a
And I was,
favorite?
you know, gosh, I think probably just Singing in the Rain was
Okay, that's
always
a
a
great one.
favorite. I mean, like it was just so fun. I'm trying to think of what other ones we
M-
really
Mine
onto.
is Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat
Oh
with Donny
yeah,
Osmond. I
with
love
Donnie,
with Donny Osmond. I mean, he
hometown
just
hero,
yeah, 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 yeah.
being a Utah guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he is Joseph for me. I mean,
Oh my
that's,
gosh, yeah.
yeah.
All the components, all the components. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I don't think I really got familiar with Joseph until probably high school. And like I had heard about it, and like,
Mm.
oh, Donnie's starring in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and but I never really got into it until later. But that is a solid one.
Oh, it is good. It is good.
Oh, it's
I will
so good.
listen to it. It's one of my running playlists. Like I'll just start I'll start at the
Oh
beginning
yeah, because
and
it has a good
oh, it does. And it's such a
consistent.
great story. I mean, you relive
Yeah.
it through the soundtrack and I love that.
Oh my
It's a
gosh,
great
it's so
soundtrack.
true. I'm gonna
It's
have to
good.
try that.
I
I
know.
went last year. I went through a little running stint,
Nice.
and it didn't last too long because I injured my knee again. But
Oh,
old
those are the
dance
best.
injury. There's a little
Yeah.
callback there. But yeah, maybe as I'm building up my strength, I'm gonna try that out. That sounds like it would be a
It's
good
a
one.
great song, a great playlist to work out by. I love it.
Oh
Love it. Okay.
yeah. Oh, I
So
love that.
so music, you found musical theater, right? So you're at the musical
Yeah.
theater. Your mom introduced you. Then where do we go?
Yeah, so I was like, I can dance and sing and
Oh,
act at the same time. Like, what is this world? And I just like switched gears. I actually remember writing a letter to my dance teacher because I got on their premier like top tier team, and I had gone through the audition process for it, got on the team, and then I was like, wait, I want to be a part of like the high school theater program. And we had a wonderful theater teacher and music teacher, and they were really collaborative. And I just kind of felt pulled that way. And I felt so guilty being like, I actually think I'm going to go do this instead. And I switched gears, and I feel like I was so lucky I mean, Utah's a very arts focused community, at least central Utah where I grew up. Very focused um, uh, on the arts. Like, everyone plays the
nice.
piano and loves the theater,
Mm.
and so that like it just kind of felt natural to go that direction. And so yeah, I was really fortunate to have incredible teachers in high school that really helped us cultivate our skills and decide if this is a path we want to take. So,
That's great.
yeah, I decided at that point I did want to do this for a living. I wanted to go to Broadway and
Mm.
did the whole I actually went and got my BFA in musical theater. The degree is actually called music dance theater. So it was like
Very
we're
cool.
training you to be a triple threat. And I did that. And then senior year I was doing senior showcase, and I was in the middle of a run of a show that I was the lead in, and it was so intense, like carrying the show and not having nights and weekends and all of that. And I was just like, I'm burnt out.
So this
I
is in college, right? So you're in
This is
college
in
now?
college.
Okay,
Yeah.
which is BYU, right?
Yep, I went to Brigham Young
Brigham Young.
University.
Okay, okay.
And the music or the fine arts program, all the programs there, it's like a conservatory there.
Hmm.
Very small group. I think there were 12 people in my class, out of
Okay.
hundreds that audition every year to be in this program. And I was so fortunate to get in, and I did the whole program, and then I was like, oh, I love this, but I don't know if I have uh, like not what it takes, because I think I did have what it takes, but I also had
Hmm.
other priorities. And so I was like, how can I still perform, use these skills that I've just paid so much money in tuition
Yeah.
for? And and then voiceover happened to smack me upside the
Okay,
face.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, where did that, I mean, so that was that just happenstance, or did you go looking for it and
Yeah.
found it?
It was pretty happenstance, I would say. Because I had always known it was a thing. I mean,
Hmm.
I loved Robin Williams. I mean, I
Oh,
still do
oh,
love Robin
oh,
Williams. He, an
I,
icon, right?
oh, I have a goal, right? I have a goal. I want
Oh,
to be able to sing the song from Aladdin
oh,
that he performs in the
never found
when
me.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Alibaba had them 40 thieves.
Oh,
Shepherd's had 1,000
yeah.
tales. Master, you're in
Ooh,
luck, cause up your sleeve. You got random magic that never fails. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
that's really
I'm getting
good.
there. I'm
I
getting
don't
there.
even know those are the words. I just am like, nah, 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 yeah,
Well, I'm the crazy guy going down the road with that song blaring and screaming.
Oh, I
So,
love it. I love it. You know, we all have our like songs that we're like, we're gonna master this. Like for me, I've got 3 minutes of Rapper's Delight memorized. I mean, it's a 15-minute song, so I still have a long ways to go, but I've got 3 minutes. So
let's hear
so
it.
yeah.
I mean, I'm
Okay,
gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
let's see if I can do this because it has been a couple weeks. Okay, so it starts. I said a hip hop, a hippie to the hip hip hop. You don't stop a rockin' to the bang bang boogie. Say up jump the boogie to the rhythm to the boogie the beat. Now what you hear is not a test. I'm a rapping to the beat, and me, my friends. Wait, me, the groove, and my friends have been out to. Oh no, I'm messing it up. And see, I
That's
am
great.
the Wonder Mike, and I'd like to say hello to the black, to the brown, the red, and oh, I'm messing it up. The black to the white,
Done.
the red and the brown, the purple and yellow. But first, we gotta bang bang the boogie to the boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the bang bang boogie. Let's rock. You don't stop. Rock the rhythm that'll make your body rocks. I'll stop there, but
No,
it's a
you.
long.
I mean, man, it sounded like to me you dang near had the whole song. That's
Uh,
oh.
it's a long song. I don't know if I can do all 15 minutes, but I feel like 3 minutes is a pretty good start.
That was, yeah, great start. Wow. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
y-
how's it gonna? So far, you've heard my voice, but I've brought some friends along.
that is
Okay,
great.
it's
That
not
is
so
great.
silly.
That is great.
It's
So
such
good.
a
So
party
good.
trick.
Well, I love that Robin Williams is an inspiration to you because I mean, definitely
Yeah.
in my life. I mean, I grew up Mork
Oh
and
my
Mindy and
gosh.
all that stuff.
Oh
Love that
yeah.
show.
Just an incredible actor and human, and
Yeah.
just so driven by his craft and authentic, and like just the complete picture. And
Hmm.
I remember as a kid. Excuse me. I remember as a kid watching Mrs. Doubtfire. I feel like
Yes. Yes.
we would go and like check it out at Blockbuster, rent it from Blockbuster,
Yeah. Yeah.
or Hollywood Video or whatever.
Whatever it was.
One of those. We had both in my small hometown, but we'd go and rent it and rent Mrs. Doubtfire, and
Such a good
I
show.
just it's so good. And I don't think I understood just how like all of the messages and like how good it was. But I do remember being, I don't know what year it came out, but I was a little kid and being like, oh, that's how voiceover is done. I remember that distinct moment of seeing him in the booth voicing this bird in a cage, and like
I know it's
yeah, like it was just such a moment for me. And then I went years without thinking about that, and so I guess full circle moment when I got to that point about to finish my BFA, and realizing, like, I don't know if this is a path I want to stay on. Um, I was kind of reminded of voiceover, and my brother-in-law happens to be an animation picture editor here in
Oh, okay.
LA.
Nice,
And
nice.
yeah, and he was working on Hotel Transylvania at the time, and
Love
it
that
was
show.
it was so great. It was so great.
Oh
He was
man.
working with Gendy Tartakovsky, and like just an incredible team. And we were still, my husband and I were still living in Utah at the time, but
Hmm.
my brother-in-law was like, "Hey, when you come and visit, I can sign you onto the Sony lot and you can come to a record." And so it was just like, say no more.
Yeah.
We made the drive out, and
Let's go now.
yeah. And like, I just remember sitting there and watching them, and it was a loop group doing all of the like background monster voices in
Loop groups. Explain that to me. So
oh yeah.
that's a new term. Explain it to me.
Yeah, so
Sorry, I
loop
didn't mean
group
to.
is basically, no, this is great. This is great. Loop group is basically like every time you are watching something, whether it be live action or animated, if there's characters talking in the background or smaller parts, those are
Okay.
not the people. Like, well, I'll simplify. On camera, if you see background people talking, like two people talking at a table, but the main characters are
Hmm.
like up here. Um, excuse me, my voice is kind of dry. The
Get your water.
I know, I'm like, I didn't bring my water bottle in here. Rookie mistake.
If you need
Uh,
to go grab it, you can go grab it.
oh, you're great. Do you know what? I'll just text my husband. I'll be like,
Oh, there you go. There you go.
"Sir, my
Arm just
servant."
comes.
I know he probably will too. Let's see here. Would you bring me my water bottle, please? I think he got off work early today.
I love that you even have a
Serve
voice
me.
for that.
Do
Please,
you?
please, sir, may I have another?
Would you please? um, yeah. So, what was I saying? I'm so
So you were explaining loop groups.
Oh, yes. So if you're watching a scene, a movie
Hmm.
scene, there's two people at a cafe talking. The main character is like up ordering something, and you see the people in the background. The actors are just moving their lips. They're not actually saying anything because the
Hmm.
mic will pick it up. And so
Makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah, so they'll bring in a loop group who is basically filling in that world, this cafe that people are at. These people are talking about maybe their friend that they, I don't know, that they're planning a birthday party for or something
Hmm.
like that, like just to fill
Okay.
out the world. And
Gotcha.
so
To
for
provide depth.
animation, yeah, exactly. And for animation, it was like I guess one example, when I remember it so vividly, even though it's been over 11 years, but it was when they're in the lobby of the hotel in Hotel Transylvania, and
Nice.
like different monsters are crossing across the stage, as it were,
Hmm.
across the scene. And so this loop group was there, and each person was like, okay, I'm taking this monster, you're taking this monster, go. And you'd hear the beep beep beep, and then on the fourth beep you'd go, and they would be
Okay.
having a conversation in these monster voices and
Oh, I
silly
love
creature
that.
voices. And yeah, it was just incredible to get to see that, um, as someone who really knew nothing about the industry, and I
I
was
love
like,
that. I love that. I love seeing the nuts and bolts of how something works. That's just
"Yeah.
like, I mean,
Oh,
I, I,
amazing, right?"
I purposely hunt down Blu-rays and DVDs just so I can get the behind the scenes stuff. I mean, that's like, because
Oh,
I want to
it's
know, I
so
want to
good.
understand, I want to,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and what I think I find interesting, I watch a film now and it's like, that sound wasn't, that's not the sound that was happening when they were filming that. That sound has been
Yeah.
added later. And you
Oh my
stop
gosh,
and you
isn't it
realize
so
so much
wild?
that, yeah, I mean, what goes into making that complete picture and that complete experience for the
Yes.
viewer. And I
Oh my
love all
gosh.
that.
It's so fascinating. It's Monsters Inc. You can watch it with voices off, where it's sound effects only,
Uh,
and that is
I need to try that.
fascinating.
I've not done that.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
I'm sure, I mean, I would assume they have it on Disney Plus, but I know on our DVD copy that we have,
No, now
there's
see,
a feature of it.
DVDs are coming back. and
Are they?
I'm hoping. Well,
Oh,
I theorize. I mean, here's my thought: is that the streaming platforms. I kind of figure that they're going to start archiving more stuff on the platforms, and
I
so
think that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I'm trying not to tell too many people because then the prices of DVDs are going to go
Yeah,
back up
right.
because
Right.
you can find them used at thrift stores cheap, and
Oh
I'm
my
like
gosh,
I'm
yeah.
grabbing everything I want, make sure I have it, but I
Yeah.
think now's a good time to get back into the DVD collection.
I think
I don't know. I'm
that's
just throwing it out there,
that
but
makes a lot of sense.
especially for the commentaries, for me,
Oh my gosh.
wanting to
Yeah.
understand the craft and understanding how it all works.
Right? Yeah, and it's so cool to hear well, just to hear about the behind the scenes and like
Hmm.
what it took to get the result that they did and um just kind of gives a little peek behind the curtain as it were.
Well, it's just like
Um
tearing that alarm clock apart. I mean, you just
yeah.
you get to peek behind and tear it apart and see how it works, and then
Yeah.
apply it in your own creation. And I love
Oh,
that.
I
It
love that.
excites
I
me.
think that's fantastic. Yeah, I love that. I just think that visual is so great and that you were encouraged to do that.
Mm,
That is
well,
that is
I'm
gold.
very, and that's a lot of the reason why I'm doing this, right? Because I take for granted the exposure that I had in my life to things, and I think
Mm,
I love, people like you who will share their story and their knowledge, so that other people who are like trying to figure this stuff out,
yeah.
can be encouraged or empowered or whatever to go down that
Yeah.
creative path. So I love this, and I know I've told you once, but thank you for
Oh
doing
my
this and the
gosh.
time to do this. So,
Oh, of
uh,
course, it's my pleasure. I'm just delighted.
enough of me rambling. So
You're great.
you are on the lot. You discovered
Yeah.
animation, the voice. So where did the opportunity pop up?
Yeah. So, oh gosh. So we moved out here and my husband was a
To
sound
L.A., right?
to LA. Yep, out
Yep.
here to LA. And it was really nice that we had my husband's brother. He and his family had moved out here about 5 years before us.
Okay. Okay.
And so it was
Pave the
nice
way.
because yeah, we were able to see his path and of course we had these like rose-colored glasses on like, wow, he did it, we can do it too. And had, some of that naivete. Is that
It
naivety?
sounds good. It sounds good. It
I'm
sounds good.
like, why
But
does it sound weird in my head right now? But yeah, like I think part of that is like having that little stars in our eyes and we can do anything kind of feeling um is was a good and bad thing for for us
I could
and
see that. I could see that. I mean,
yeah, you have to be able
it.
to like learn and be willing to like accept when things like aren't working and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot
Mm-hmm.
but
Well,
yeah, I think oh
you
sorry,
have to
go
have
ahead.
I was gonna say you have to have. You learn that you need grit, right? I mean,
Yes.
it isn't all easy street. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it and I don't want to jump ahead on us, but I mean, I feel like uh, what you're alluding to in the naivety is that it's real easy to get discouraged, and you need
Yes.
to realize that that's coming as part of this.
a
Uh,
hundred percent Yeah, I think like there's a perception that like we decide we like just decide we wanted to do voiceover and then we got handed jobs when really what you don't see is the hundreds of auditions we're sending
mhm,
out
mhm.
and um I don't know if I would call it rejection per se because when you're rejected you don't hear back, it's just silence.
Mhm.
um so maybe it doesn't hit as hard as like an actual no, you're not right for the part, but there's so much that goes through it, networking, auditioning. I guess networking and building relationships is the same. Training is huge,
Mhm.
making sure
Mhm.
you have your chops. I mean, I was fortunate in that I had studied acting in college, at university, and so I had that, but I also didn't have what the voiceover training that I needed. They're different mediums, stage and
Oh, I would imagine absolutely. I would imagine absolutely.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
want to back up to rejection for a second because that's
yeah.
actually something that I wanted to touch on later on. But since we're there, so what you know how do you cope with rejection? I mean, what do you What do you tell yourself? How do you get through it?
Yeah, oh, that's a great question. And obviously, like, not obviously, but I will say, like, some days are harder than others. Um, when you see all these announcements, and you're so happy for your friends for the success
Mm-hmm.
that they're having, and then you're thinking, oh, I auditioned for that. Oh, I wonder why I wasn't a good fit for it or whatever. But I think the thing that helps me most, and this has really kind of shifted my perspective in the last maybe handful of years, is that every project is like a big puzzle. And like each little piece, voiceover is just a small piece of the puzzle. So you take a project like I don't know, Genshin Impact. We'll go with that
Mm-hmm.
since that's such a big one right now. You take a big project like that, and the voices are there's a lot of them, a lot of pieces of the
Mm-hmm.
puzzle because there's so many characters. But maybe you pick up one piece, you hear one actor's voice, and it's good, but it just doesn't quite fit where it needs to go exactly. And so you have to, you're finding the right pieces to the puzzle, and there's like the game developers, the artists, the gosh, now my mind is drawing a blank. All the many parts that
Mm-hmm.
goes into game development. And those are all little pieces. And so just reminding myself that just because my puzzle piece, me, doesn't exactly fit in that project, doesn't mean it's a bad piece. It could be a great puzzle
Oh, that's
piece. It
great.
just maybe
That's
goes with a
great.
different puzzle.
That's
And
oh, you haven't found your puzzle yet. Okay.
yeah, yeah, and that's really helped me because I think I think as artists, as actors, um, we we're trained to like give the director what they want. And so it can be tricky to not book a thing, or to it can be easy to get down on oneself. I think that's what I'm getting at. And so to be able to flip that script and be like, no, it's not that I'm bad at what I do, it's just that I wasn't the right fit. It's
Mm.
made a huge difference. And honestly, like, once that really clicked in my brain, that was when my booking ratio started going up,
Oh, so you stopped
because
worrying about it.
stopped worrying, stopped trying so hard. Um, it just so many puzzle visuals here. I was like, the pieces just fell into
No,
place.
puzzles are good. They work. They work. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah,
So
that's
I
really
think
helpful.
if I understand what you're saying is I mean uh, someone this creation that someone has made, right, and they're looking to bring it to life, and they have an idea of what they want, and
Yeah,
that idea may not exactly be what skill or ability you have, or uh, I did a table read with just last night with someone, and
oh great.
I'm like, this part, I'm like, I'd read it like this. He goes, no, I'm really looking for someone with a really, deep voice, and that's just not me. So
Yeah,
I
sure.
get that, and at the end of the day, it's about the creation, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if, like you said, my piece doesn't fit into that creation that they're looking to bring to life, then it's nothing against me or
Right.
you. It's just that for the story or the creation, it isn't the right fit. And
Right,
so,
and what's gonna serve the
mhm,
project and help the message, be translated, I feel like it's yeah, what's the right fit? What's going to
that's great. That's
what's
great.
gonna serve the overall project?
It,
Yeah.
nice, nice. Okay, so I want to go back. What was the first? You mentioned Genshin Impact, and
Yeah.
I jumped into that. I'm not an avid gamer. I'm a casual gamer,
Sure,
but
for sure.
I have some friends that were just like, oh, that is like the game. So
Oh, and it's massive too, so
I understand. Well, and
no,
I want to hear it a little bit. I want to talk about characters because I mean,
yeah,
you've got quite the list of credits. I mean,
thank you.
I'm honored to be talking to you, and
Oh, you're so
excited to hear
kind.
the stories of them. Okay, so let's go back.
Yeah.
What was that first? I mean, what took you into voice acting? What was the break?
Well, gosh, I got a job working at the public library, and that was kind of like my day job to help fund classes and whatnot.
Oh,
And I
love it.
started taking classes at a casting house, and
Casting house. Sorry, I don't. What? So that is just a place that I mean, is it like an agency or what?
um in a way, yeah. So a casting house, it's basically this one in particular was a commercial voiceover casting house. So
Okay.
basically clients being like I don't know, fast food restaurants or s- I don't know, like food and beverage or
Okay.
travel, like different companies or like the ad agencies would reach out to this casting house um to essentially find their next voiceover person. And
Okay.
yeah, so I started taking classes there, and my first actual voiceover job, or at least professional voiceover job, I should specify, was for Honda Fit, and
Okay.
I said 5 words rather. I played the Valley Girl, and my line was, "Can it tell me I'm pretty?" And that was it. That was it. Like I remember being like, "This is this is a voiceover job. Wow." I drove all the way to Santa Monica and was there for 6 minutes, and then I am done with that. This is great. So
And
that was my first like actual professional voiceover job, and yeah, and it was thankfully from that connection. Oh, there he is with the water.
yes.
You're great. Thanks, man.
Oh,
Mm-mm-mm.
heck yeah, DoorDash made it.
We love it. We love when it's free too.
Huh.
But yeah, that's so essentially working at that or taking classes at that casting house led to a lot of opportunities. And then they were hiring a casting assistant, and I applied and got the job, and that helped me to like make the connections with agencies um and kind of see what was out there, and that really helped me to get on my feet as a voice actor. And yeah, then I got an agent, and I just started auditioning. And the first video game audition that or rather, first video game project that I booked was called Shadowverse. It's like a card-based game,
Okay.
a turn-based game, and my husband was actually engineering the session, which was kind of fun. So yeah, so it was exciting to.
I meant to ask you earlier. So what? So he's a sound engineer. Is that what he does?
Yeah, yep, he's a sound engineer, and
Thus the nice booth, right? He got you all set up.
thankfully, yes,
Nice.
famously don't know anything in here because I'm like, Aaron, help, it's not working, and he's like, da da da, plug this in, unplug that, and yeah, so it's a blessing and a curse, but I'm very grateful. It's
Absolutely,
very
absolutely. Well,
very
we're
silly.
we're 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 very grateful for Aaron, who allows you to work and do what you do so well.
He's the
So
best.
tell him
He's
thanks
the
from all of
best.
us,
Yes,
all of us.
absolutely. He's a good one, that's for sure.
Okay, so you started landing roles. I want to back up just a bit and go back
Yeah.
into okay, so well, or talk more about you know someone becoming, or getting into voice acting, because I had a friend whose son was like, hey, I think that's something I would like to do. So someone
Yeah.
who's maybe, I mean, where do they start? I mean, would you tell them, I mean, should they learn to sing? I mean, do they really need to go back to school? What would you suggest for that person?
That's such a great question because I don't necessarily think like getting a degree is necessary. But I do think more training is always helpful. Um, in fact, like most voice actors that I know, myself included, take classes weekly or monthly. Like we're still learning all the time.
Mm.
So it's good to jump into classes. And one silver lining of the pandemic is that classes all went online, so there's a lot available. Um, so I would say get started in classes. I think singing lessons are always a good thing. I can't tell you the amount of auditions that I get that are like must sing, and
Okay.
um, we want them to carry a tune, and you don't have to be an incredible singer. You just
So
have to
there's
be able
hope
to
for
sing a
me.
character. Hey, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
There's
I
hope
bet you're
for
not
me.
that bad. I bet you're not bad. But yeah, I think any like finding a way to perform and finding a way to feed your creativity, like
Mm.
your your desire to be creative and to make something out of nothing. Find ways to do that. And so I think classes are very helpful. I always love, and you may hear this all the time, but this has really been a go-to when I'm asked about how do I become a voice actor. The incredible voice actor D. Bradley Baker. He's uh,
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you see the wall behind me, so you know
yeah,
where I know. You
yeah.
know where I know him from. You know where.
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
yeah, he's like in everything. He's just incredible. But he has a great website because he was asked so often, how do I do this? And
Oh.
so he made a website called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. And
Okay.
you
That is
just spell the
great
whole thing out.
information.
And
Uh,
it's so comprehensive. Like it is like where to start. Talks about demos, talks about agents. Like it covers everything, and it's just an incredible resource. So I love to point people in that direction. But yeah, taking all of that away, I would say jump into some acting classes. Do community theater. That's
Oh,
always a
good
really
one. Good
great way
one. Good
to,
one.
yeah, any way you can flex those creative muscles, play with characters, I think is always a good thing.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So that's. Remind me the website again. So,
I want to be a voiceactor.com.
I want to be a voiceactor.com. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I am going to
Mm-hmm.
check that out. Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
it's great.
I think, talking about opportunities and things like that. I mean, so once you get down that road, so really, yeah, I mean, do you think, you get some gigs under your belt, whether it's acting, whether it's community, and then you look to find an agent?
Yeah, yeah. So what is going to be like your main calling card is going to be getting a demo made once you're ready,
Okay.
of course. And you want it to be professionally produced and have it sound great and really show off what you can do and but also like show you off as authentically as possible. You don't want to make yourself sound like very different from what you sound like in real life.
Hmm.
But having a demo is going to be your calling card, especially for agents. And so once you're ready for a demo, get that produced. Most people say start in commercial because agents, you know,
Hmm.
the commercial is where the big money is. And so start in commercial and then get your character demos, whether it be video game first or animation first. It's up to you, but start with commercial and then have a character demo made. And then reach out to agents. And basically, that shows them what you can do and shows them um, if you can fill a hole that's in their roster. They may have a need for someone who's just like you, who has a sound and is in that demographic that you fit. So I would say get training, demo, and then go for agents.
Nice. So is that common for agents to kind of have like, I mean, do they have more than one of, say, a certain demographic, or do they? I mean, they try to. I'm sure they have a broad spectrum, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty broad. I would say it really depends on the agency. I know the agent that I'm with currently, they're just incredible. I just recently signed with them this year, and they keep their roster pretty tight. So there's not many other people who are similar to what I do on the
Hmm.
roster. Whereas other agencies that I've been with in the past maybe have 5 to 10, sometimes 15 um, Stephanie like people on their roster. And so it really just depends. Um, and so it's important to really do your research, go to agency websites, see who's on the roster, listen to demos. Most agencies have all of their clients' demos on the website. So you can really
Okay.
see, oh, look, you can even, a lot of times they'll have it so you can sort it like male, female, non binary, and then like young adult, middle age, like child. Like you can really filter it down and see if there is an area that they need you. Um, and so yeah, I would say that that would be the best way uh,
Very cool. That's
to
great
go about that.
information. Great. Great.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay, so coming back around to process and
Yeah.
talking about characters. I mean, you've got
Hmm.
some great characters, and I mean,
Oh, thank you.
all the way back to Veggie Tales. And I will tell you that at my house we've been singing, the Miss Blueberry for.
Oh, we
I
love
mean,
her. I'm so
I yeah.
blue. Yeah. See, it's funny because I actually
I
grew up.
wasn't going to ask you to do that,
Yeah.
but
Well,
I
I
was
have to
so.
admit that one's not me. That's the original Madame Blueberry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But
Okay,
yeah, so I was probably
so that was the Stuff Mart episode, right?
uh-huh, stuff my I loved that episode, but I was like the cool older sister who was like, Veggie Tales, this isn't very cool. But I
Oh,
was like also like, I
just
really
a.
like this show. And I loved it. And so I have actually my when I took over from Madame Blueberry, it was I want to say we started in 2018 or 2019. I think it might have been 2019. Um and so it's been in the most recent reboot, and it's got Phil, who wrote it, and Mike, who they're Bob and Larry. They're
Oh yeah.
involved, and it just has that charm of the original stuff, and it's very similar to like the Muppet Show when they're like putting on a show and
Yeah.
Kermit's putting out all the fires and
Oh yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's kind of that
I love
idea.
that. So like they're doing a variety show. Well,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. And I remember that in
Yeah.
some of the early episodes that it was always,
Yeah.
that they were on the countertop, right? And there would be a little stage, little set on the countertop,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
they were doing the show on. We
Oh,
love
just
that
the
show. Love
best.
that show. I
And
mean,
it just has such charm and like silliness and
and good
heart.
message, right?
Yes, totally. It has such great heart in it. And yeah, I remember getting the audition. They had reached out to me on LinkedIn, which was
Oh,
was not a usual place where I get reached out to for auditions. Usually they'll contact me directly, and asked if I'd be interested. And I was like, "What could this be? Like, it's a reboot of an old show." And like I just had no idea, and it was all under code names and whatnot. And
okay.
so
Secrecy.
secrecy, yeah. And then they were
Okay,
like,
okay.
"She's
Now,
French and sings opera." And I was like, "What?" Like, I don't know what this is.
well, they
Mhm.
so they couldn't
Excuse me.
use like when you think like some other show that would use code names, they would use stuff like banana and
Oh, yeah.
strawberry. Now you
Yeah, yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
do it for this show, right?
Yeah.
You have to use something like I don't know what you'd use, but you have to use something non silly
Yeah, right, exactly. And
like
even looking at the sides, I was like, there were no clues in it that gave it away. I just
yeah.
was like, "Okay, she's French and sings opera. I'll make her pretty fantastic." And and then I got a call back, and they handed me this packet of sides, and they were like, "Here it is. We're having you read for Madame Blueberry." And I was like, "Veggie Tales, womp." But like zoom in and pull out at the same time, like, whoa. Um, and
It had to be
yeah.
surreal.
Oh, it was so crazy, and I just feel so grateful to get to be a part of such an iconic legacy, such as Veggie Tales. But yeah, like obviously they're very different from Genshin Impact or
Well, yeah.
God of War or Diablo and some of those others. Um, but it's so fun to get to play, and even within Veggie Tales, playing Madame Blueberry, who's everything is very dramatic, and then Callie, who's just like, I just think everything's great, and like
Oh, that
small
is so
and
good. That is
derpy
so
and
good.
plucky and precocious. Like it's just kind of fun to have the contrast between those two. And one of my favorite episodes, it's Madame Blueberry, the star of the show that they're putting on. She gets the hiccups, and so they've
Yes.
got to find someone, and they hear this like little lovely voice like going and they find Callie, who's like painting sets in the background, and they're like, "Callie, you're the only one who can sing. You got to save the show." And Callie's like, "But I'm shy," and it's just like so silly and has such heart. And so it was just fun to get to play like Madame Blueberry is like, "Oh, my voice," and hiccuping. That's the word, hiccuping,
It could be, yeah.
and then Callie being like sweet and bashful, and
Oh, that
it's
is so
so
good. That's
fun.
so good.
I
I'm gonna have
love
to go
it.
back and watch that episode. I've
Oh,
I've
it's
I've been grabbing
delightful.
those on DVD as well. I have a few of those.
Oh,
I'm like,
they're
oh, I
so
need that.
good.
I need that. If I see them, I grab it. I
Oh
need that.
yeah. Oh,
I
it's
need that.
just they're so good, so well
Yeah.
written. It's just wonderful to be a part of it.
Well, what I mean, it touched so many people. I mean, and that was,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you have to be over the moon to be a part of that. And
Oh, I am. I'm so grateful.
yeah,
It's
go,
it's really
yeah,
cool to get to be, yeah, it's just really cool to get to be a part of these projects that have such an impact on people's lives. And I mean, I remember as a kid, um, and I would say I had a pretty good childhood. But I remember those times when I felt lonely or, didn't have friends at one point in
Mm.
time, and just being able to go home and put on, uh, I don't know, like Animaniacs or Tiny Toons was a favorite,
Oh,
of course,
those are
and
good stuff.
classics, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so, so good. And putting those on and just like being able to escape the harsh realities of life, and also just to connect with characters and feel like they were my friends, even if I was going through a time where I didn't have friends or whatever. And so it's just really surreal and humbling to get to be a part of this industry that helps people and improves people's lives, and and it just makes people happy.
I
I
love
just
that. I love
love
that.
it.
I
It's
love I
wonderful.
love taking a passion and aligning it with the purpose, you know. I
Yes.
love taking something that I find, that I love. I mean, like this stuff back here, I
Oh,
love
yeah.
taking that. This guy over here. I mean, I go out and cosplay, and
Oh, I
I
love it.
love, and we do it for charity, right? I mean, it's we go
Yeah.
out for charity, and I love taking something that I'm passionate about, something that I
Yes.
love, and then align it with a purpose for life, which is, just shining that
Yeah.
light and that love on everyone, and I love doing that. And
Oh, and
I
it just
can't.
makes the world a better
Oh,
place.
so and that's that. I mean, that's Veggie Tales. I mean, that's what. I mean, so man, so thank you for that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh
my
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 goodness, my
kids grew up on it.
pleasure.
We grew up on. I mean, yeah, we sing it. We
Oh,
still sing it, and we've
it's
been.
so
As soon as I told them, I said, "Guess who I'm talking to," and they're like, "No way!" They
Oh my
started
gosh.
singing the song.
It's so good. I mean, I feel like daily I'm like, where is my hairbrush? And then I'm like, I don't have to.
Wait,
I do. I will say, because I'm a late diagnosed ADHD girly over here. That
yeah,
like
same,
I'm old. Really? Oh my
same.
gosh. Yeah. The things I'm learning about myself and like all the life lessons, and like my
Mm-hmm.
whole life is womp going like fitting. It's making more sense. Like I'm getting so much perspective on my life, but I'm like always multitasking. I'll be like brushing my hair and doing something else, or one thing that drives my husband crazy is like getting ready for bed. I'll start brushing my teeth, and then I'll go into the kitchen and I'll start like doing the dishes. And it's like, Stephanie, just finish brushing your teeth, and
One thing at
then
a
the
time.
dishes will be easier when you have two hands of it. Like anyway, I'm just all over the place. So
No,
yeah,
I think we have
famously
the
using
same problem.
hairbrush. Yeah.
That's
Where
why I'm
is my
laughing.
hairbrush?
Oh, yeah, we're both going to start singing that song before it's over.
Mhm.
I mean, and
Mhm.
I'm sure everyone watching along will be singing it as well. It's that's where two of my two kids went. They went straight to the. Well, they went to the Blueberry song, and they went to the hairbrush song as
The
well.
hairbrush
So
song.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then
they're
the
so
Cebu. Don't
good.
even get me started on the Cebu.
Say boo. It's so good. It's
Yeah.
so good. Well, and one thing I loved about this reboot that I'm so fortunate to be a part of is that the original songwriter uh, is a part of it, and
Oh, okay.
so you have the charm that he brings. His name's Kurt, and he's just incredible. And so the songs that are in this new stuff, they're
Oh,
uh, just so well written and
they're
catchy, and
yes, yes, they're
you
sticky.
just
You
love
can't
them.
get rid of them, and
Yes.
but you don't want to get rid of them, right? I
Right,
mean,
it's true.
you don't want to get rid
Yeah,
of them, and
just makes you happier.
it does. Well, that's what I'm going to say. I mean, music is special because I mean,
Yeah.
it reaches us on a level that I don't think much else does, right? I
Right,
mean, you
totally.
know that as a musician. I mean, uh,
Yeah.
um, people, when they're, you know, maybe in like stages of dementia or whatever, and they can't communicate, but you start
Mhm.
singing, and
And they are there.
they will jump in, and that
Isn't
is
that
like,
amazing?
yeah, it hits at a deeper spot in the brain and the soul. But
Yeah, right.
anyway,
Yeah, it's like
wait.
the head and heart connecting, and
Hmm.
like just
I
yeah,
love it. I
it's
love it.
so
So
powerful.
it's so cool that you can provide that. I
Oh, I'm
that's
so
one of the
grateful
challenges.
too.
I at some point I want to be able to uh, feel confident and sing in front of people. I mean, I guess I just
Oh,
did earlier. I mean,
hey,
technically, so I mean,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I already fulfilled it. Maybe I already fulfilled
You've
it.
done it. You've done it. Now the floodgates have opened, and now you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
go and perform for hundreds.
I doubt that. But all right.
Uh,
So characters. I mean, man, you've got quite the list. I mean, going back to Genshin Impact, which I mean, is that still current? Is that something you're still working on?
yeah, yeah.
That's
I mean,
constant.
it's just wild how huge this world is in Genshin Impact, and yeah, it's still more is being created all the time, and yeah. So, I don't know how much I can say, but yeah, there's still stuff coming out, and I guess we will see if there's more for my character. Obviously, I hope so because I always love visiting Jean.
I was going to ask you.
She,
So it's Jean, and pronounce the last name for. Is it Hildenbrand?
Gunnhildr.
Gunnhildr. Okay. Oh, that's right.
Yes, of the
Gunnhildr. Okay, I
Gunnhildr
see that.
clan.
I totally messed it
Yeah.
up.
Oh no,
Gunnhildr.
you're good. There's Diluc Ragenvinder, and they're
Oh.
just very very what would you say, like German names, Scandinavian names? I don't know, but yeah, Jean Gunnhildr.
So
And
so for those who don't know Gene or Genshin Impact, how would you describe it to someone, who may have tuned
oh
in, who's
sure.
not, who, I mean, has no clue what Genshin Impact is or who Gene is?
Yeah, so Genshin Impact, it's basically a giant open world fantasy game. You're exploring, you're fighting the baddies, and gosh, it's just incredibly massive, and there's just so much to see and so much to do in it. There's like mini games within it, but I remember when we were first recording it. It was a lot of people are like, it's so much like Zelda Breath of the Wild, which in a way it's true. It's that open world
Mm-hmm.
uh JRPG, and so yeah, it's very similar to that, but I feel like it's on a larger scale. Like the worlds just keep growing. You're visiting different areas that have different characters and
Wow,
different
great.
lore, and it is just massive.
It sounds like
It still
you
blows me
can just
away.
spend forever in there, which
Some people do, and I don't even blame them. Blame them. You really can like get lost in this world. Um, yeah,
what I've seen is visually stunning. I
it's
mean,
incredible.
it's I love how, and I think I watched some scenes with Gene, and I love how they seem like they're flowing, right? They seem
Yeah,
like they're constantly flowing, and I love that, like the
yeah.
clothes and everything. My dogs are going crazy upstairs.
I love it. I love it. You're just not hearing all the cats and the
Mm.
dog out here. We have a menagerie because we foster kittens, and they're always like
Oh, oh,
scrambling.
nice,
So love it.
nice.
We love a visit from the dogs. Hi,
Well, if I had the
puppies.
door open, they would be down here. Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
we love them.
We've got she's just over a year cocker spaniel, and
Oh,
a small shepherd. She's about 11, but she's a white
oh,
shepherd, and they are like bonded. And my little cocker,
oh
she
my
doesn't give my
gosh.
shepherd, it's like, you're gonna love me no matter what. You're gonna
Yeah,
love
yeah,
me
yeah.
because she's a little grouchy, but now she's like, she can't go anywhere without her. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh my gosh, that's the best when the little one comes in with
mm-hmm.
such like tenacity. It's
Yeah,
like,
well,
oh,
it's like, well, and
that's
it's
the best.
just raw love. It isn't even like, it's just like, she gets up there, she comes over, she backs in and just sits right down, right into her, and that's where she
I
wants to
am
be.
here and this is where I shall
And that's
be.
usually right
That's the
next to my
best.
wife, all of them, like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Anyway,
that's the best. Oh, I love them. I love them.
they're the best. They're the
Um,
best.
they are. What would we do without them? That's what I say.
I'd be lost. All right, so Gene in Genshin Impact,
Yeah.
that's very exciting. So some new stuff coming up that people can be on the lookout for. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
Yeah. And I'm always crossing my fingers we'll get to see Jean more. I think that it would be really cool to hear more about her story and what's going on in Mondstadt. So Mondstadt, where Jean is from, she's
hmm
well, there's the Knights of Favonius, and Jean is the acting grandmaster. So when you first start playing the game, Mondstadt is where you start. It's based like it's like a Germany
Okay.
kind of town, and so yeah, you meet Jean pretty early on, and and she's just very she has the weight of this responsibility now on her shoulders as she has stepped into this role
Okay.
acting as the Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, and she's very grounded, and she just cares about the people of Mondstadt. And so I with her, it's so very different from Madame Blueberry and
Oh yeah.
Cauliflower, because it's very similar to my natural voice, except for it's like Stephanie, who's not caffeinated. Like
Oh, so
Gina's just,
mild, kind of
yeah, mild
serene.
and very serene. People often say, call her the mom of Mondstadt or Momstat, because she has like such a
Mondstadt.
nurturing, comforting
Okay.
energy to her. Um, and she just really cares about her people, and really wants to do well, and do her best, serve people
Mm.
as best as she can. And so it's kind of it's fun to play this character that is like, if you take my energy away and like add a little bit more like badassery, if you will,
Yeah,
you add a
I
little
like
more
it.
toughness to Stephanie, then you get Jean. So it's just such a pleasure to be a part of this game and get to
So
voice her.
that's really okay. So, and that took me in another question that I had. Um, Finding the character now with a game like Genshin Impact, did they give you a backstory? Or you, I mean, did they give you a little bit of information? You know,
Yeah.
how do you find that voice for that character?
Yeah, so when we receive auditions from our agents, usually it'll say like a log line. It'll share a log line of the game or the show. It's like, this game, I don't know specifically what it said for Genshin Impact, but it was like, it'll tell you about the game, and then it'll tell you a little bit about the character. And so with those, it's basically like they're giving you clues, and you take those clues and you you cook them up and create what you think that character would sound like. So with Jean, gosh, I wonder if I can find it while we're thinking of it. Let me
Oh yeah.
pull this up and do 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 do.
So the actual sheet they gave you that tells you who Gene
Yeah,
is, so you can.
yeah.
And you know, I'm curious how much you filled in the blank, and then decided where to put your voice for Gene. Like you said, it's my normal Stephanie voice versus where you go for a cauliflower or a blueberry.
Yeah, right, exactly. And yeah, it's just yeah, it's putting in those pieces, or like putting together the clues and then coming up with your own thing. I think I found it right here. Let's see. I'm just gonna hurry and type this here. Do 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 do.
Well,
Okay,
well,
let's see.
while you're
Yeah,
looking,
I can find it.
do you? And this probably isn't a good question because maybe putting you on your spot. Who's your favorite character? I mean, of all the characters you played, do you have a
Ooh,
favorite?
hmm, that's a tough one.
And it's
I
okay if you don't. You don't. I mean,
Yeah,
it may be one that more like resonates with you. That like that's who if
yeah,
I were gonna ever that's the one I would always want to be. If I can only be one character, that's the one or
yeah.
is most like me.
You know, um, I honestly feel like Jean is very much like me, and I really
Oh,
resonate with
okay.
her just because she's a workaholic for one thing,
Okay,
and
that's a good trait. Good. Well,
ag- it's
you gotta take care of yourself though.
and
Drink
that's
your
what Jean
water.
is learning. That's what exactly what Jean is
Oh,
learning, which I
okay,
love.
okay.
Um, excuse me, hiccup. Yeah, she's learning to not take herself so seriously, and learning how to take breaks, and learning how to loosen up and have fun. Um, and at times she feels that imposter syndrome that always like
Oh,
is such a common thing, especially with actors. Like, someone's gonna find out that I'm not qualified, and yeah. So
that's that's
it's
that's
pretty neat.
good.
I really love that because Jean is one of the first characters you meet. I think she's like, you meet Amber very first, and Venti. I think she's like within the first five characters you meet. Um, we started recording this before the pandemic, and And I remember Chris, the casting and voice director, saying like, "I didn't choose you for the roles. The roles chose you." And
Oh, okay. So
and
letting I mean, the fit of the creation. I mean, you
yeah,
as soon as he heard you, you were Gene, right? I mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And what he does is he picks like who he thinks is the best, or a couple people who are great options,
mhm.
and and then forwards them to the client, and then there were callbacks, um, and yeah, whoever felt like that correct puzzle piece, going full circle here,
Nice.
that correct
Yes,
puzzle piece
this is great stuff.
is the one who, essentially booked the role. And I like I feel cliche sounding or saying this, but like being a part of Genshin Impact has really changed my life. Like it's such a massive game. It has such an impact um, on people's lives, and the fandom is just incredible. And it's
Oh yeah.
just such an honor to be a part of it, of this world, and get to you know go on these journeys with people essentially. So it's a
That
huge
is so
huge
good.
honor.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
Uh, um, wow, this has been great. I mean, a lot of amazing information. Uh, um,
Oh, good.
I love, like I said, I love just getting all this knowledge and just absorbing it because I mean, for myself personally, and I know people who who listen and tune in will be blessed by it as well and find some great inspiration and motivation.
Oh, I hope
So,
so.
what do you have going on now? I mean, is there? I mean, so Genshin Impact. Is there anything else? I mean, you're out in cons, right? I mean, you mentioned the
Yeah.
fan base. So, do you have any
Yeah.
coming up?
I am pretty like taking the fall off with cons, which
Hmm.
is it's a good thing because here I am. It's the gene in me working too hard, so
Hmm.
it's good for me to
Hmm. You
take a
gotta. You
little
got.
break. But I will be at SAC Anime in January, so that's very exciting. That's in Sacramento, California,
Nice, nice.
and yeah, and then like I mean, my con agent is booking me for more stuff. So if you want to see me at a local con, reach
Oh,
out to them, and we've got to be invited to them. So fingers
absolutely,
crossed.
absolutely.
But
We
yeah,
so I'm in Kansas City. We have a big one coming up in Kansas City.
yeah,
The end of this month. It's called Planet Anime.
yeah. I've heard of
So
it.
maybe we can get you there at
Oh,
one of those. And
I'd love it.
if you do, I'll take you for some barbecue, definitely.
Oh, heck yes.
I
Oh, I
mean,
haven't been to Kansas City in so long, but I remember just loving it. I
eh,
love Missouri.
Missouri, it's a beautiful state. I'm actually this weekend heading to the Ozarks, so beautiful country.
Oh,
But I mean,
have you?
Utah though is a beautiful. I mean,
Utah is beautiful.
the
It's
mountains.
really lovely.
And if I
Yeah.
remember, it's really easy to find your way around because you got, I mean, it's mountains on either side, right? So
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
streets are just
It's like
perfect.
I-15 is like your one freeway, and it's like
Hmm.
very grid, like set up like a grid. And yeah, you've got the Wasatch Front, and like it's just it's wonderful. But I do gotta say I love Missouri. And if you're going to the Ozarks, have you been to Lambert's,
Oh
home
yeah.
of the
Oh yeah.
throwed
Oh yeah.
rolls?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I I've told
Hot
my husband about
rolls.
it for
Get your
years.
hot
Yeah.
rolls.
And then
Yeah.
they
Yep.
catch them, and they just like are so like
Hmm.
hot that they just fall apart in your hand. Not fall apart, but like, oh, they're just so good as I
And
hit
they
my
come
desk.
by with all the fixins. You get the fried okra
Yeah,
and
the
all that. And they'll just
okra.
you haven't
Oh,
even ordered yet, and they're dumping that stuff on your
I
table.
know. It's so
Yeah.
wild. Yeah, I've been telling my husband about about Lambert's for years, and one of these days we're gonna make a trip out that way.
Oh yeah. It's worth
Yeah.
it. It's. I
Oh,
mean,
so good.
uh, yeah, coming through Missouri, either Sikeston or Ozark, which is just a little south of Branson. So there's two locations.
I love
Uh,
Branson so much.
yeah, and
I
that's
love
actually what
Branson.
we're just going to be outside of Branson near the Springfield, Lebanon
Oh,
area. So we may pop
really?
over. Yeah.
Oh, Branson is amazing. Yeah, I used to in high school. This is like a
Okay.
little
That's.
tangent.
I was going to
I
ask how you ended up in Missouri.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, in high school, I was in the show choir, and we would go to
Mm,
show choir competitions and in Branson.
yeah.
And so yeah, we would fly out and then hop on the tour bus and go all around that area and go to all the shows in Branson. And I mean, this has been no, 15 plus More than 15 years.
You're due to come back. It's grown and changed. You'd be surprised. I mean, there's a whole new area. I don't know if you remember the old pirate cruise that was on the river down there.
Oh my gosh,
they developed that area down there. There's a lot of fun, newer area down there. The strip has just gotten bigger. There's more stuff to do.
Gosh.
Yeah. So you definitely need to come back.
Time to make a trip.
Yeah.
Time to make a trip.
Branson trip.
I am
Silver
there.
Gold City, fire in the hole.
The best. The best. It's so good. Oh, I love that. That's so great.
All right. So where can people find and follow you? I mean.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. I'm not great at updating my social media. I'm trying to be better, but typically I'll announce things on Twitter/X, whatever it's called now.
Whatever, yeah.
Whatever it's called. I'm trying to get more active on Threads, and then Instagram and TikTok, and all of my handles the same on all of those.
Okay.
It's at Steph South VO, and
so Steph South.
South.
South. SOUTH. Okay, so Southerland.
Since my last name's Southerland, I was too long. My name is 21 characters long, way too long.
Oh,
so it's like Steph South VO. We'll keep it short and sweet. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's where you can find me on all the social channels, and trying to be better about posting. I think I just live in my own little world over here, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's an online world. I should go check it out every once in a while. Or my agent will be like, hey, have you shared that you're a part of this project? And I'll be like, oh, scramble, gotta post. So,
well, I found you on Instagram, started following, loved it, love the stuff you got going on.
Thank you.
I've had so much fun with this. This was great.
Oh my gosh, well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And remember, when you come to Branson, come on up to Kansas City.
I am
barbecue.
there in a heartbeat. Oh, 100%.
All right.
I am there. You're the best. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed
thank you
chatting
for
with
all
you.
this as well. Have a great night. All right.
You too.
All right. Bye. I told you she was a lot of fun. I just love her positive energy. I think I could have spoken with her all day long. Our conversation has inspired me. I am going to commit myself to nailing down that Robin Williams song, You Ain't Never Had a Friend Like Me. I think I'll record it and share it with everyone. Christmas sounds like a good deadline. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. And who knows, maybe we'll challenge Stephanie to the same on Rapper's Delight. I don't know, maybe. Also, I want to play Genshin Impact more. I've just barely touched on it, so I think there's a lot more in there I'd like to explore. And maybe we'll do a video on that as well. Kind of my first real dive into Genshin Impact. That might be fun to share with you all. Let me know what you think about that as well in the comments. So be sure to follow Stephanie on all her social media platforms. She's got a lot coming up, and you don't want to miss it. Like and subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching The Collector's Maze.